When people think of revolutions, they imagine protests, politics, or technology. But sometimes, the most powerful revolutions begin quietly, in the soil beneath our feet. In the farmlands of the Philippines, a new kind of revolution is taking root. It is not about machines or chemicals, but about life, about farmers rediscovering the ancient wisdom of nature and turning it into a model for the modern world. These farmers are proving that organic agriculture is not just possible, but powerful. They are feeding their communities, healing the land, and showing all of Asia what real sustainability looks like. This is the story of how Filipino farmers are leading Asia's organic revolution. For decades, modern farming was dominated by one idea: grow more, no matter what it takes. That meant chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and genetically modified seeds. At first, yields went up, but over time, the soil began to die. Across the world, farmers started to notice the same problem. Ek mawid kui, umber dendergakuri danamber, deskin nawin kuren, adadawi diwan, dandawent krawin dawi distan daw. Our land was producing less, the cost of chemicals was rising and their health was suffering. In the Philippines, where agriculture is a lifeline for millions, this crisis hit hard. But instead of giving up, many farmers chose a different path. They began returning to traditional methods that worked with nature, not against it. The organic farming movement in the Philippines began in the 1980s and 1990s, led by small cooperatives, NGOs, and faith-based groups who wanted to protect both farmers and consumers. They started simple: composting animal manure, planting nitrogen-fixing trees, and replacing synthetic pesticides with natural extracts made from chili, garlic, and neem leaves. At first, people laughed. Organic farming was seen as old-fashioned. Critics said it would never feed the country. But then, something unexpected happened. It started to work. Soil fertility improved. Pests decreased naturally. Farmers spent less money on chemicals and started earning more. The crops tasted better, lasted longer, and fetched higher prices in local markets. And soon, organic farming was no longer a small experiment. It became a movement. In every province you can find a story that captures the spirit of this revolution. In Negros Occidental, once known as the sugar capital of the Philippines, farmers shifted from chemical-heavy sugarcane to diverse organic crops. Today the region proudly calls itself the organic food bowl of the country. In Bukidnon, highland farmers are growing organic rice, vegetables and coffee on volcanic soil using old indigenous techniques combined with modern science. They use fermented plant juice and compost teas to feed the soil instead of chemicals. In Bongay, vegetable growers are finding new success after decades of struggling with expensive synthetic fertilizers. By creating natural compost from animal waste and crop residues, they cut costs and improved harvest quality. Everywhere you look, Filipino farmers are showing that going organic is not going backward. It is moving forward with wisdom. The science behind the success of organic farming goes way beyond just avoiding chemicals. It's really about understanding ecosystems and how everything works together. When farmers use compost instead of synthetic fertilizer, they're actually feeding the microorganisms in the soil. You know, the bacteria, fungi, and earthworms that keep the land alive. Healthy soil holds more water, resists erosion, and even captures carbon from the atmosphere. In a tropical country like the Philippines, this is especially important. Heavy rains can wash away nutrients, but organic matter helps bind the soil together, protecting it from floods and droughts. Studies from the Philippine Rice Research Institute and the Department of Agriculture show that organic systems can produce equal or even higher yields than conventional ones after 3 to 5 years of transition. That is because once the soil heals, it starts working for the farmer again, instead of needing constant chemical input. The heart of the organic movement is not technology, it is community. Farmers are forming cooperatives to share seeds, equipment, and knowledge. In many towns, they gather weekly to discuss soil health, composting, or pest control. Older farmers pass on wisdom to the young. One inspiring example is the Negros Island Organic Farmers Association, which began with just a handful of families and now includes thousands of members. They sell directly to local markets, restaurants and schools, cutting out middlemen and, earning fair prices. In Mindanao, the Don Bosco Multipurpose Cooperative teaches sustainable farming to indigenous communities. They train farmers to grow organic rice and coffee while protecting forests and watersheds. These groups are not just producing food, they are honestly rebuilding dignity and independence. In many rural areas, it's actually women who lead the shift to organic farming. They manage small plots, grow vegetables for family consumption, and often control the household budget. When women farmers find out that organic methods reduce expenses and improve health, they become, really powerful advocates for change. One such leader is Myrna Padilla from Davao, who started an organic backyard garden to feed her family. Today, she trains other women to do the same, teaching them how to make organic fertilizers, compost, and herbal pesticides. Women's cooperatives are also producing natural soaps, oils, and herbal products, turning sustainability into small businesses that support entire communities. The world has started to take notice. In 2022, the Philippines ranked among the top 5 countries in Asia for organic agriculture growth. International buyers are sourcing Philippine organic bananas, cacao, and coconut products for export to Europe and Japan. Local certifications like Philippine National Standards for Organic Agriculture are now aligned with global benchmarks, making it easier for Filipino farmers to access new markets. Even large corporations are beginning to collaborate with cooperatives to build ethical supply chains, creating jobs while preserving the environment. There is something deeply cultural about the organic movement in the Philippines. It draws from the Filipino value of Bayanihan, or collective cooperation, and Malasakit, or compassion for others. Many farmers see their work not just as economic but, spiritual, a way to honor the land that feeds them. For centuries, indigenous tribes practiced sustainable agriculture long before the term organic even existed. They knew how to rotate crops, preserve seeds, and respect natural cycles. Today's organic farmers are reconnecting with that same ancestral knowledge, showing us that, really, modern sustainability and tradition can go hand in hand. Beyond economics and health, the organic revolution is also a climate solution. Agriculture is one of the world's largest sources of greenhouse gas emissions, but organic farms act like carbon sponges, pulling carbon dioxide from the air and storing it in the soil. By avoiding synthetic fertilizers, farmers also reduce nitrous oxide emissions, a greenhouse gas 300 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. In short, every compost pile and every organic rice paddy helps cool the planet. Environmental groups now see Filipino farmers as quiet climate warriors, protecting biodiversity, restoring soil, and ensuring food security for future generations. For years, organic farmers fought for recognition, but their efforts have paid off. So, back in 2010, the Philippines passed the Organic Agriculture Act, which was really a landmark law aimed at promoting natural farming methods all across the country. It also created funding for training, research, and certification programs, making it possible for more farmers to get involved and, improve their practices. Then, in 2021, the law was actually strengthened through the Organic Agriculture Act Amendment. This update provided more direct support for small farmers and, encouraged public-private partnerships to help the sector grow even further. Today, regional agricultural offices hold seminars, distribute starter kits, and help farmers transition to organic methods through subsidies and technical guidance. It is still a work in progress, but the foundation is strong. Despite progress, challenges remain. Certification, can be pretty expensive for small farmers. And, well, some still struggle to find stable markets or fair pricing. Others face pressure from big agribusinesses that are, promoting chemical products. Infrastructure, like rural roads and storage facilities, also limits access to cities and export hubs. But, many farmers believe that the solution lies in local resilience, not global dependence. They say that the goal of organic farming is not only profit, but food sovereignty, the right of people to control what they grow and eat. That vision makes this revolution deeper than economics. It's really about dignity. Looking ahead, experts predict that the organic agriculture sector in the Philippines could triple in value within the next decade. Tourism, wellness, and health-conscious consumers are, really fueling demand for organic products both locally and abroad. Farm-to-table restaurants and eco-villages are thriving, and honestly, farmers' markets are appearing in every major city. Educational programs are now teaching children about composting, seed saving, and, well, the importance of clean soil. So, this next generation will grow up knowing that nature is not a resource to be exploited, but a partner to be respected. If this continues, the Philippines could soon become Asia's model for sustainable agriculture, not through technology alone, but through wisdom, community, and care. Every revolution begins with a few brave souls. In the Philippines, those heroes are farmers kneeling in the fields at sunrise, planting seeds by hand and trusting that nature will reward their patience. Their work may look simple, but its impact reaches far beyond their villages. It touches the food we eat, the air we breathe, and, the way we think about our planet. The organic revolution is not about going back in time. It's really about moving forward with humility, guided by the lessons of the earth and the heart of the Filipino farmer. They are showing Asia and the world that real progress grows from the ground up.